Today we learn from Reddit what is legal that should be illegal. I will have to admit quite a few are political, so comment your most controversial political opinion down below. Enough of my waffling, sit back and enjoy. Increasing the volume on commercials by 20 goddamn decibels. I thought that was illegal according to the FCC or FTC. It is. Either advertisers have found loopholes or nobody regulates it. It's illegal on broadcast TV, streaming services don't fall under that regulation. Subscription to an emailing list without a previous email confirmation. Or worse, you've unsubscribed from a mailing list, but then the company changes to a new mass marketing provider, and just hands over their entire list of emails they've ever collected. So now, even though you've unsubscribed 4 years ago, you are back to receiving stupid spammy ass little bullshit ass emails and have to unsubscribe again. Then you know damn well when they change email companies again, you're going to have to do it a third time. Yes. I hate this so much. Since my email is a simple combination of first name, last name.gmail. I get so much crap from people who are idiots who share my name or people who just make it up same then bam. I'm a subscriber to some crappy marketing list. No warning, no checks, nothing. Civil asset forfeiture. You're free to go. Your car and money are under arrest. How does that even work? They assert the items in question were or are about to be used in the commission of a crime. They just don't accuse you of the crime. What? Are there any notable cases where this has happened? And what did they take? Happened to a neighbor of mine about 15 years ago. Got a tip from someone desperately trying to keep her own ass out of jail that he was selling large quantities of drugs. Raided his apartment and found nothing that would support those claims. I sat on my balcony and watched them tear his truck apart and get more and more frustrated because there's gotta be something here. In the end, they pressed no charges but kept the truck. There was a story about how a guy had his Lamborghinis or something seized by civil forfeiture on his way to a car show. He spent years trying to get them back. In the meantime, the police were using his cars for undercover drug busts and illegal street racing. The chief of police even displayed them as if they were donated or bought by the police to use to clean up the street. By the time he got them back, it had cost him thousands and his cars were very damaged. Civil forfeiture is absolutely sickening. Siren sounds on the radio. That should also include car honking sounds on the radio. Years ago I was driving alone listening to the radio, when this ad came on that contained a lot of aggressive, frantic honking. No words, no music, just a lot of loud honking for the first 5-ish seconds of the ad. It scared the shit out of me and made me slam my brakes. I can't remember what company the ad was for, but I later realized it was supposed to be about 2 cars having a conversation through honking. Yikes. It made me pretty wary of listening to the radio while driving, since I'd start worrying about when that ad would come on again. Phone vibrating sounds too. The other day I heard that sound from my left speaker and instinctively looked down by my door to see who was calling, when I should know full well my phone is plugged into their center console and will in fact ring and announce the caller. I just glanced down for a second but veered almost out of my lane. It should be illegal to blatantly lie to voters while running for political office. We call it fraud and jail people for lying in order to gain financially. Yet we call it normal and allow politicians to lie in order to gain votes for political offices. Offices which not only benefit them financially but also give them enormous amounts of power to benefit and detriment others. Then we wonder why political office seems so often to attract the most fraudulent, sociopathic, and dishonest among us. We basically have a neon sign over our political system saying, if you enjoy committing fraud and are a pathological liar, please apply here. We will let you deceive as many of us as you possibly can for more money and power than you can dream of. Basic stuff we should implement. To run for office you should pass a basic test that confirms you know what the position entails and what your job actually does. Your finances including tax records and investment holdings should be publicly available. This is just basic shit to prevent profiteering. During your time in office you shouldn't be able to invest or modify investments. Everything should be transferred to a trust. You should be able to pass a security clearance check and the results should be publicly available. Like we make almost everyone in high levels of military do this. Like it's absolutely shocking how low the bar for presidency is given how high the other requirements are. This used to be illegal, but advertising for prescription-only drugs. This is illegal in all of the EU plus UK, Switzerland etc. It's illegal everywhere except the US and New Zealand. Are they as silly as US commercials? Do they have the segment near the end where someone reads at 300% normal speed to warn that you might drop dead as a side effect for a drug meant to treat something really minor? They used to do this, but these days they don't actually speed read them. Now they talk in a low calming monotone about 8 mundane side effects that can happen to anyone who ever used a needle and 2 casually mentioned horrific side effects that will ruin your life, while they play B-roll of a suburban mom sharing muffins with her family or an old woman operating a small business or a couple leaning their heads on each other's shoulders on a grassy hillside, to show you what idyllic life you'd have if only your eczema didn't bother you or something. Political campaign donations. All political campaigns should be free to run. No one gets to advertise. Network TV airs debates in primetime paid for by the taxpayer. Like I really care. The Democrats recently just proposed a bill where you would have to publicly show all donors of over $10,000 and not a single Republican voted in support of it. All for show. No Democrat would want it implemented either. If you think Democrats are somehow morally superior when it comes to campaign donors, lobbyists or insider trading, you're not paying attention. Alright, enough politics for me. If you want to continue the debate in the comments, be my guest. I actually prefer if you do. Child beauty pageants. Agreed. There's something completely illegal feeling about parents living vicariously through their children. Yes, it's child exploitation for every adult involved. What are they getting out of it exactly? They are all on a spectrum line with pedophiles. Adult beauty pageants. The contestants are old enough and experienced enough to make informed consent to the exploitation? Well, I would imagine that people would argue that the beauty pageants are for the kids. But then what do the kids get out of it? The victor gets to feel good about themselves while the rest feel like they're a lesser person? It's whack from all angles. Convenience fees for paying taxes and bills online. It's not a convenience fee. It's a haha, duck you, more money for me, fee. And don't give me that they have IT costs. They ducking don't 10 seconds after their software provider finishes setting up their system. At the very least, make ones that are based on percentage of the payment itself illegal. Example, I wanted to pay university tuition online. In the US, so of course thousands of dollars. Payment was through a third party that charged a convenience fee of around 5–10%. For other charges, aka not several $1,000s, that could be just an annoyance. But in my case it meant they wanted me to pay a convenience fee of several hundred ducking dollars. Duck out of here. They got a paper check in the mail. Hiding ingredients in food by calling it natural flavors. God forbid the public knows we use nasty beaver parts on themselves. Beaver butt oil. Used to be a key ingredient in ice cream and the like before we started making flavoring in a lab. Unnecessarily bright dipped headlights. Every single morning. I have to resist the urge to flash my brights at people because I mistake their now normal bright ass lights for them having their high beams on. Why resist the urge? Because road rage is on the uptick and it's scary to think someone might swerve to hit you or shoot you. For-profit prisons. I wonder if that shit exists outside the US because as far as I know it doesn't, at least in free countries. Here in Australia we have private prisons and wouldn't you know it, they are the ones with the highest rates of inmate violence, the highest rate of smuggling contraband, the highest rates of staff assaults by inmates and the lowest staff to inmate ratios. Gerrymandering. How the hell is it just for a politician to pick their constituents? It results in more extreme candidates and disenfranchised voters who got packed or cracked. It would be extremely easy to create software that draws all these maps. There is absolutely no reason people are still doing it. Oh, there absolutely is a reason. There's just no honest reason. Contracts signed by parents on behalf of their child still be enforceable once the child comes of age. Taylor Swift and Lily Allen are the big famous examples of this, But it happens to loads more who don't get big enough to get the media attention. They did not sign the contract. Forcing an adult to live by the rules in the contract they did not agree should be classed as a form of slavery. It actually does violate at least one law that I know of in the US. The same law that makes child marriage illegal, as it is stated in the legal case used to get the law enacted, that marriage is a contract, and that a contract must be signed willingly by the involved party, and said party must be of an age where they can legally consent. I mean, this should be its own thread on this post, but child marriage is legal in the US, and happens far more often than you'd think. Free trials that auto-charge when they run out. I hate those, to be honest. Wish they'd just let you trial it and then when it runs out you are done until you pay for the subscription. Avoid free trials a lot just because I don't want to deal with this. Overselling a plane and putting people who bought tickets on standby. In any other industry, selling something that doesn't exist would be considered fraud. With that, I hope you enjoy the video. Thank you for sticking around until the end of the video. If you did, check out another one of my videos on screen now. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment your most controversial political opinion.